Ciao studenti! In today's video, I'm going to cover a topic that's a source of great confusion for most students. Le preposizioni articolate, articulated prepositions. We are talking about words like sulla, nel, dagli, dei, all those terrible little words that can really drive Italian students crazy. But it doesn't have to be like that. My mission as a teacher is to really demystify Italian grammar by showing you the logic behind it, so that you will understand the rules and use them in a natural way. So here we go, articulated prepositions made easy once and for all, I promise. So first of all, what are articulated prepositions? I know that they can look like crazy little words, but in reality, they are just a combination of one preposition and one article together. This is the number one thing you want to realize if you want to understand articulated prepositions. One preposition, one article. That's where the name comes from. Preposizioni, preposition. Articolate, article. They are just combined together. So now the question is, why do we have them? Well, the reason is that in Italian, we tend to use the article almost always in front of a noun. So anytime you have to use a preposition, you will also likely have to use an article. And so we will combine them together, making one word out of them. So let me show you what I mean with an example. Let's suppose you want to say on the table. And this is the perfect example to start with, because even in English, you have one preposition, on, one article, the. So the same happens in Italian. We just combine them together. So the first thing we need to do is to pick the right preposition. So how do we say on in Italian? That's su. So we have our preposition. Now we need to pick the right article. Now the right article depends on the noun. So in this case we have the noun table. In Italian, table is tavolo. Tavolo is a masculine singular noun beginning with a consonant. So the right article to use with tavolo will be il. That's how you end up with il tavolo. Okay, now we have our preposition, we have our article. The only thing that we need to do is to combine them together. Su plus il becomes sul. So sul tavolo. That's how you end up with sul tavolo to translate on the table. Okay? So, again, how do we pick the right articulated preposition? Let's recap this so you will remember this whenever you will need to use it. First of all, identify the right preposition. What we just did. Second, identify the right article for that specific noun. This is key, this is crucial, that you pick the article that you would use with that noun. And third, put them together. So that's the process you want to follow whenever you have one article and one preposition and one article next to each other in front of a noun in Italian. Now, let me show you a chart. This is a chart that shows you all the possible combinations between articles and prepositions. And if you want, you can download this chart and all the flashcards from this lesson on my Telegram channel. Just follow the link in the description below. But now let's see a few more examples to really help you absorb this concept and see these up in real life examples, real life phrases that use articulated prepositions in Italian. So, let's suppose you want to say, I come from Italy. What's the first thing that we need to do? We need to identify the preposition. So, I come from is vengo da. We have our preposition. Now, if you want to say, I come from Italy, this is the perfect example that shows you how we use the article way more than you do. Because in English you say, I come from Italy. No need for the article. In Italian, you cannot really say that. That would be incorrect. What we do say is, I come from the Italy. I know it sounds weird from an English point of view, but that's how we say that. So you really need to pick an article for the word Italy. So how do we say Italy with the article? L'Italia. So now we also have our article. And let's put them together. Vengo da plus l'Italia. Vengo dall'Italia. That's how you end up with dall'Italia as dal as an articulated preposition. Va bene? Let's move on. Let's suppose we want to say see you at 9. Here again we have another example where in English you don't use the article, but in Italian you do. So what we actually say when we say see you at 9 is see you at the 9. I know, super weird, but that's how we say that. So see you at the 9. That means that we also need an article for this sentence. So can you see? Preposition, article, preposizione articolata. Let's see how we get to the preposizione articolata. See you at is ci vediamo a. And the 9 is le 9. Now, why is it le 9? Well, because when we say the 9, what we're actually saying is the hours 9, right? We're talking about time, we're talking about the hour. And we're saying they're going to see each other at the hour 9. And how do you say hours in Italian? Ore. So it's a feminine plural noun beginning with a vowel, but in any case, it's a feminine plural noun. So the right article for it is le. That's how we end up with le 9. So keep this in mind when you say the time. You do not need to say le ore 9. That's not necessary, but you do need to remember that we use le, the article, the plural feminine article for hours, le 9. Okay, now let's put everything together. Ci vediamo a plus le 9. Ci vediamo alle 9. So, as you can see, we just put them together, and there you have it, your articulated preposition. That's where it comes from. Now, let's see one last example that can be a little bit more confusing, because here the combination of the preposition and the article changes a little bit. It's slightly different than what you would expect. Until to this point, we have noticed that when we put them together, the preposition and the article together, they look quite similar to the individual preposition and article. In this case, it changes a little bit. So let me show you. Let's suppose we want to say, look for the word in the dictionary. Now, look for the word in. In this case, the preposition in this is exactly the same in Italian, both Italian and English, so it's in. But notice that look for in Italian is one word, one verb, which is cerca. So look for the word in is cerca la parola in. Okay, now let's talk about the article. The dictionary. Il dizionario. So we have our preposition, we have our article, let's combine them together. Cerca la parola in plus il dizionario. Cerca la parola nel dizionario. So you may be like, Valentina, what is nel? Where does it come from? Now, this is probably the hardest one between all the articulated prepositions because it's the one that's the most different from the two original components. You have in plus il and it becomes nel. Well, the only reason for this is the sound of the word. Probably in plus il would be inil, and doesn't really sound very Italian. Inil. No, doesn't sound very Italian. So we change that into nel. Much better, much more Italian. Nel. That's why in plus the article is so different. But no worries, because you will learn this with usage. And if you have understood what I said so far, then it will be much easier. And remember, you can always review your combinations in the chart that I'm going to provide you, just use the link in the description below. So as you can see, the trick with articulated prepositions is just to pick the right article for the noun to which the articulated preposition refers to. If you need more help with Italian articles, I have a whole live class on it coming soon, where we're going to dive deep into this topic. And as always, I'm going to explain everything clearly with tons of examples, and you will be able to ask me questions live in the chat. The live class will be on Saturday, March 12 at 4 p.m. Italian time. And the class will last 60 minutes and will cost just $5 per person. If you want to attend this class, you can already register for it. The link is in the description and in my pinned comment. So there you have it. Italian articulated prepositions demystified once and for all as promised. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and feel free to share this video with all the people you know who are learning Italian, like friends, family, people in your Italian meetup, or in your Italian class, or in your Facebook group. Let's make Italian grammar more accessible together. Ciao da Valentina!